We're slowly leaving our initial base camp cabin, moving deeper into our career wilderness as the story unfolds. A few months ago we forged a road to a new area we like to call Solitude. It worked, so we improved the road, decided on priorities, more little roads. The first rain roof was built, place to work, while we closely observed the wind, rain, wildlife, crop and livestock plants, etc. This is where we shall build, we said, and we started mining rock, doing many things at once, building swell, fixing erosion, filling bags with compacted gravel, sowing oats, planting trees, finding a place for our guests to stay in the future. Yes, this is a good spot. Continuing the build, slowly juggling everything else, survival, adventures, repairs, improvements, but fortunately remembering to enjoy the great parts, making time for side projects, writing something I wanted to write, creating things, enjoying things, building self-reliance, resilience, researching. A long, complicated chapter in a fantastic story. Bit of a random load, feed, and sand, cement, goat pellets, everything here. I've got someone from town helping out with the metal work, because my welding is not where it should be for this kind of thing. So while they do that, get some order here. A bit later we'll go down there and I'll just give you a quick update on where we stand now. So far this is just a solo and me and Alexia job, so between one and two people, so it's going a bit slow, but I'm going to just jump in and mix some concrete first. We started this using several types of bags, because at the foundation level now these bags are double bagged and they're intended to start forming the load bearing bottoms, but the lower layers that we're doing now is just the water prevention layers, and they're filled with gravel, trying to see which bags work best. These ones don't breathe well because the polypropylene is covered in a sealing type paint to keep moisture out of the dog food. Also means that if you fill them with earth, they won't really breathe as well. So I'm gonna stick with the super huge bags that we got. These are the ones we've got a few thousand of. They're very large. Okay, look, I've done those a few days ago to test, see sizing. Tested the small bags over there, and now we have switched to the large ones. The roundness of this shape here, the circular shape, is not too important. What needs to happen here is that we need to get up to grade and build a little vessel or a container for the gravel, so that once we're at grade level we add the gravel from here and then get it all up to very level, tamp it down again and again, and then we've got a level base. Then we'll do this one first around me here, clean it up, get it round. By the time we're done with this, we should know a lot more about the compaction and the system for filling. We should get a lot more done, and then we can start with the second circle and then the third, and at that point we can think about moving up to wall level. Looks like we can do about a bag in 10 minutes for the gravel for now, using this pot container without a bottom to fill the bags. My pallet wood stand broke, but it doesn't work that well anyway, so it's a learning curve. We're going to have to develop a system for this to work, because it's going to be 3,500 bags that we have to do. I'm still not entirely sold on the fact that I'm capable of doing this, but I can't think of anything else, and we do need this building to happen. So I'm going to continue with the Earthbag until I know or see that we can do it. At least it's been overwhelming and very difficult to get our heads around this. We've been looking at wood again, lumber, timber, what do they call it, a timber house, doing a proper thing, not the thing that we live in now, proper solid windproof wooden house here costs almost more than a brick house, and that's not an option. We don't want to do cement. The material is too hard to work with, too hard to transport and deliver here, so there's not many options. Container homes, they're not as good as everyone makes them out to be. Not here, I mean. The heat gets to them, the cold gets to them. Even with insulation, by the time you've insulated, you've lost half a foot or a foot of space inside in something that's already small. So containers, other than that, they're also super overpriced because the whole off-grid community jumped on containers. So there's not many options out there. I would have loved to do compressed earth bricks, building a hydraulic brick compressing thing, and then having to mix and do 1,000 bricks a week. That I would do that would be nice, but again, that kind of machine is complex to build, expensive to buy, so options are really limited. We have to follow the old native ways of everyone else in the world, is build with what is there. If you live in a forest, then build a log cabin. Here we have a lot of rocks and a lot of clay. You remember in the last video we put down the oat seeds here, and it's been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Didn't really keep a record of this, but the oats are coming up in the rows that we followed with the cedar. So it's a little bit dense in some places, but the cedar did place the oats neatly into rows. I'm glad to see them coming up. I'm not sure if the frost and the coldest part of the winter will now stunt the growth or terminate them, but at least we've got something growing here now. Get the soil covered. I don't like the bare soil like this. So there's a lot of wilderness this way. You can see there's a pathway running through here. It's obviously used by the wildlife. And then a lot of disturbance on the soil here that's fresh. It looks like larger but not very large hoof disturbances, like here. That's why I've got my camera up in the bush, in this bush here, just to see what we can catch. I think once we have the oats growing to a certain level, things will start grazing there, and that's okay, it's all right. So another part of closing the loop is getting this amount of urine soaked dry matter from the goat kraals almost every month, every 6 weeks or so. This is quite a large amount, and it can be turned into compost pretty rapidly because of the high nitrogen deposits in there. So this is something that I quite appreciate. It's hard to do and hard to remove and clean up, but a necessary evil to finish or close the loop and get some nutrient rich material to use in other places. It hasn't been raining that much, not as much as last year, but from the few rains we've had, we're still way over 95%. You can see by the spillway on the side there that it's only a few centimeters from the overflow, and I think the water retention is doing well. also wind spread of all the things that are growing in the area starting to cover the wall here. So far we haven't made any manual efforts in spreading stuff much, usually just poking a few things into the ground when we walk around here, but it's starting to take cover now, so not bad. So far so good.